What is consciousness? Join the Sacred Kingdom community as we explore the deepest mysteries of existence. Subscribe to Sacred Kingdom on YouTube for this transformative live series.
Open your mind, stay up and mad reason when I rhyme. Use the light area and help so divine. Watch what I do with this thing you call time. Rewind, I like projectors of reality like animation. Kamehameha, shining brighter than yellow. Of one originator, homie, I am right. Mr. Consciousness, I heard you got a lot of bliss. You're talking knowledge with a twist. You're putting love inside the mix. It makes me slowly reminisce on days we went through the abyss. So the light turned into mist. Tell me, Mr. Consciousness. Hey, Mr. Consciousness, I heard you've got a lot of bliss. You're talking knowledge with a twist. You're putting love inside the mix. It makes me slowly reminisce on days we went through the abyss. Saw the light turn into mist. Tell me, Mr. Consciousness. Chilling with thoughts in the halls of a mentee. I go deep, I do not sleep. This energy don't go empty. Do not tempt me, I'm in cities you only find in the astral. It goes on and on. I call it fractals on fractals. I'm spitting.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to episode 2 of What is Consciousness? And tonight we're going to be talking about neurodivergence and what that has to do with consciousness. And it's going to be me, Ali, and Sarah. So we're going to dive into neurodivergent consciousness. So we hear so much about neurodivergence being a disability, and sometimes they do treat it as such with medications. So it has its various traits, right? Yeah, is Sarah on with us? Is it just me? Hi, Sarah. Hey.
I've been
all right. So yeah, yes. Hi. So look, we're going to be talking about, me and Sarah, we're going to be talking about neurodivergence and what that has to do with consciousness. So,
you said neurodivergence.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that go into neurodivergence. They say autism, ADHD, AUHD, AUDHD. There's a lot that can go into it. So I broke it down to like the basic, few traits of just across the board. So it's like nonlinear thought patterns, hyperfocus, deep concentration, challenges with planning, strong pattern recognition. So basically it's like wanting to live life how you want to without being in a construct. And usually when we run into problems, what they call problems is when you get into the schoolhouse construct, right? So I believe like it's one of the closest connections that we have to source. I feel like it's one of the closest connections that we have to consciousness is, with people and children who are so close to being tapped into true consciousness and just not wanting to be a part of the societal norms, and they ultimately reject that programming, Do you have any experience or any beliefs about neurodivergence with the...
Radio. Yeah, so consciousness, what is consciousness? Consciousness can be anything. It's a very vast word. It could be knowledge. It could be an actual existence of a being, a conscious being, sentience. It could be awareness. It could be development. So interesting when you put neurodivergence along with consciousness, because what is normal, first of all? So it's a set of rules we've made for people to have a structure to be able to categorize different levels of awareness, existence, consciousness, whatever fits into the norm, right? Which was, like, what is it the DSM? That's the diagnosing model, I believe, is what they used. Anyway, so yeah, neurodivergence. Basically, that means anything that falls out of the normal window. And what is normal, right? Like if you look at today, in my opinion, neurodivergence is common and it should be expected because people are evolving. The DSM was developed, all those models, all these theories, all these things were developed a very long time ago. And also, we're all very aware that time, it seems, is going fast. So, therefore, we are evolving consciousness, right? And as we evolve, things do develop. And this neurodivergence, I feel, is completely mislabeled because I believe that it's just part of evolution. Because when a society gets to the point of so much civilization, right? They have no choice but to be overpopulated and be consuming toxins and right, which makes you neurodivergent. It alters DNA. It alters the way DNA expresses itself, giving you a label or a disorder, right? And so it kind of comes hand in hand, in my opinion. I mean, we are getting faster in vibration. We are getting more evolved. Many of us believe we are heading towards New Earth. And that indeed is a higher vibration than this current 3D matrix vibration most all of us experience. So yeah, neurodivergence, it particularly hits me specifically because I didn't know until I knew. But my son's neurodivergent, and I didn't know any of the things I know about this topic today until we went down the road with him. And then I found out that this stuff, so I have so many different rabbit holes I've learned about information and knowledge about neurodivergency and all the details of it. I mean, I've done lots of deep dive, lots of rabbit holes. And basically, neurodivergence, from what I understand, has been sold to us that it's hereditary. That's not necessarily true. Partially true. It's a partially true answer. So the body's ability to detoxify itself is hereditary, and that is what the main thing behind any neurodivergency or neurological disorder or that type of a disorder or dysfunction. That's how it starts. There's always a start of a disease or dysfunction, right? And so that is where these neurodivergencies start. And so if your family was a down the line minors, your great-great-grandpappy was a minor, and your great-great-grandpa sprayed DDT on everything, and then everyone else used glyphosate and all this stuff. Yeah, your genetic line is going to be predispositioned to be able to have neurodivergency because of its inability to be able to detoxify itself from 7 generations down. So I did learn that for a fact about the basis behind things, right? There's a basis behind type 2 diabetes. You eat too much sugar. There's a basis behind, memory loss. There's a basis behind heart care, health care, right? There's reasons things develop. And so I have learned that along the journey. So my opinion is that the word is way too overused. Everyone qualifies to be neurodivergent right now nowadays. How many people do you know that can qualify to be ADHD? Probably everybody.
Everybody who's ready to get out of any confined space. Because it's hard for adults, right? It's hard for adults to sit at an 8-hour job and be expected to stand in one spot. So putting the classification and drugs on children is absurd.
Well, it is absurd. Like we're products of our environment. Like the whole system is how many years old? 200 years old, whatever, right? Like
it's crazy.
We've changed,
Yeah, schooling should also change, and the societal norms should also change because, the closer we get to consciousness, the closer our children are naturally going to be to consciousness. And I believe that's why the rise in autism is happening right now because our children are being born closer to consciousness. And I feel like neurodivergent people are as really close to being voices of spirit, and
Well, there's a
pushing that
reason
back. And I'm sorry. Go ahead.
scientifically for that. I'm trying to add to what you're saying. I didn't mean to cut you off. I think we have a lag. But you're right. Scientifically, you're right. Because if you take away the senses of somebody, which means executive function, or do you know what I'm saying? Like logical, right? And their intuition starts to develop. That's how empathy starts in children, right? It's a secondary method the body goes into to perceive its outside conditions. And that, according to this 3D reality, is a higher vibration. Scientifically, you're right. You know what I mean? That is true. We are going into it. Autism is a higher frequency because it's a higher thought process, right?
Right. And just like you're saying, like so many people can be classified as neurodivergent.
Yeah.
So it's so interesting that they put these classifications on people, and they confine people to certain medications and spaces and think it's going to heal them. But in reality, with the evolution of our DNA, like what needs to be evolving, I don't think it needs to be the medication and how well they confine the beings who are labeled these things. But I feel like society should change behind this, that the way the school is set up should change behind this and change everything around us instead of us still having to fit into that box.
Well, if you look at the standard American diet, for example, it's garbage. 85% of the food that's in the grocery store is not literally food. It shouldn't be called food.
Right.
Okay. And so if there is a significant gut-brain axis connection, everyone's guts are messed up from all the glyphosate that kills all the bacteria in the gut. That's how it kills the plant. That's how it works. As it kills the gut flora of the plant. So what is it doing when we eat it, right? And so we're eating all this processed food, especially our children. Okay. And then we wonder, gosh, what's wrong with them? Well, they've got no gut biome left because they're eating glyphosate, they're eating processed foods. They're not eating life, they're eating processed everything. And so there's a huge connection. People are so busy nowadays, it's very difficult to find proper nutrition for the family, time to make that proper nutrition, and also being able to afford that proper nutrition. That's where it starts energetically,
Yeah. About the food, so a download came through to me the other day talking about food. And we can still process it. It's still going to do something for us. But the way it affects us is it takes away from all of our mental functions when we're sleeping to break down that food. And so the better we eat, the better we think, and the better we function. And, so improving our diets and, giving our bodies more nourishing foods won't just fix our minds, right? It'll fix the way we are able to confine everything around us. So I feel like this would be like revolutionary once everybody gets on board and, receives these messages of, being more conscious about the way we eat and be more conscious about the way we create things for us and for our children and the spaces that we allow our children to go into during the days as well. Because sitting in the same four walls for 5-6 hours is enough to drive anybody crazy or drive anybody into some sort of diagnosis, right? So that in itself could...
Okay, let's just add on to what you're saying. Let's put those conditions together, right? And then let's tell this person, sit there, sit still, don't say anything. Eat these granola bars and these crackers full of seed oils and glyphosate and don't say anything and don't move, right?
Yeah.
Into a system that's too old to function properly. These children are not the same as the children from the 1920s. The system, God loved teachers, but the system has to be reformed for the children.
Yeah, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. It's good to go to school, it's good to learn, it's good to be around people, but if you're doing it like a prison cell, then what are we doing?
These children can learn much more visually than previously. Like in my own son's experience, I can just speak for him, okay? This son's very smart. This guy's very smart, right? But if you put him into a school system that judges him by how fast he can do an assignment and how many per week he can do, he's not going to do well, right? So if I can give my son, for example, a paper, he would have a more difficult time taking the information off, putting it in the brain, working on it, putting it back on the paper. But if I show him a video of the same exact thing, he's like, oh, I got it. And there's no need to even do work. He'll get the answer. And that's not acceptable because they want you to do it their way. You know? So, yeah, the school needs reform big time, in my opinion.
Right. And the ones who reject the programming are the ones who are labeled different, you know, but it goes against our natural consciousness. It goes against our closest, because we are spirit beings first, right?
Yeah.
And we come into this body, into this vessel that we want to take care of, we want to love and everything, but then we're fed poison and we're fed confined spaces and we're told to go against everything that our soul truly knows. You know, so just by fixing that and bringing us back to, I feel like this would bring us back to unity. This would bring us back to being able to live happier lives and being able to incarnate, learn some things, figure out how to tie our shoes and write with a pencil, and then just fulfill our destiny, you know, do whatever we want to do, you know, but with respect, of course. But it's also like the ones who are brave enough to reject the programming, I feel like they are like the closest we can get to that channel of consciousness. So not only do I feel like they are the closest that they can get to the channel as children, also I feel like they are the ones who are going to bring about the big shift and open everybody's eyes, because the more, hello, how's it going? Because the more we integrate this. I'm sorry, it caught me off guard. Hold on, let me grab my thoughts back.
The children are going to lead the way because
they are going to lead the way. Yeah, so they're giving us that push by being the ones who break the system. And man, I was just finishing.
They're the newbies they're the newbies in town, is what you're saying, basically. And there's nothing wrong with them. It's a changing system, and it's unfair to them because there's nothing wrong with them. They just look at things differently.
Okay, so they're going to be okay. So all the diagnosis, right? So the more children that keep coming, the more diagnosis we're going to have, and that's going to be what wakes everybody up. They're going to be like, hold on, everybody can't be autistic. Everybody can't have ADHD. We have to have like some grounds for figuring out what this is. And that's what's also going to wake up the older generations as well, is the more, like, even though unfortunately we do have to go through these stages of more people being diagnosed, it's like the way people perceive it is about to start changing, just because like everybody's going to be waking up to the fact of, hold on, something's up here, something's going on, you know?
Well, if you look at the current statistics of autism itself, it is 1 in 23, and ADHD is 1 in 8. So if you look at the entire autism spectrum, it's 1 in 8 currently. We're almost at 1-to-1. Just give it a couple years.
I think it's going to happen before that, because, you know, just the parents are noticing, right? They're like, how many drugs are you going to put my child on?
No, none, 0. There's no reason. There's literally no reason.
But there are parents who do trust
programming wants us to do. Cut and burn.
I know parents right now, and their doctors have all 4 of their children on ADHD medicine. And the parents are normal, quote unquote, normal functioning citizens. They don't seem to have any type of disability or anything. So the parents are noticing, they're saying stuff, even the ones who aren't like tapped into the spiritual community, like they know what's up.
My son has a friend that he's known for 10 years. And this poor boy is almost a foot shorter. Okay. He takes a pill to wake up. He takes 2 pills during the day. He takes a pill for his gut, and then he takes a pill to go to bed every day. This child's 14. It's sick. It's gross.
I see it. I see it all the time.
It's
Makes me
gross.
uncomfortable too. That's one of the reasons
So
why I
I'm
like.
going to talk about it out loud because I have a lot of research. I have a lot of facts. I know exactly what I'm talking about here. I can give you, that's a good solution too. That's a good way. But for example, let's just take ADHD, for example. Methylphenidate and Adderall are the number two prescribed medications for ADHD. Did you know that in multiple double-blind placebo studies that are completely peer-reviewed and accreditable by the most top of the top of the top, shows that saffron works equally as well, if not better, than both of those medications, and it's a flower. Did you know, let me just add to that for food for thought, did you know that Tamiflu is made from, go look it up, Google will even tell you it's true, from star anise, which is an herb. We've been told a bill of lies, I'm telling you. And furthermore, let me just say, I'm on a soapbox right now, and I'll get off of it in a second, but let me just say that if these children are the future, and the evil ones think they still rule this place, want to hold them down, if these beings are indeed from higher places, here to help inspire humanity to awaken into our ascension, this is exactly why they're bombarding them like they're doing and changing the vaccination schedule, okay, to include 72. It's unnecessary. So if indeed, let's get woo-woo for a minute. If these children are from a higher vibration coming to help humanity in our ascension process, this is why this is happening. You shut them down. And if you put a child on medication, and I can prove it 10 ways from Sunday, and no disrespect, it's just a fact, you're going to shut your child down spiritually too. I know I took medication for 17 years myself for anxiety. When I learned it was just empathy, feeling other people's feelings and emotions. It wasn't anxiety at all. It was feeling other people's energy, which I was never told was a thing. So anyway, off my soapbox about that.
Wow. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, it is.
That's the same reason that they put these frequencies in the air as a frequency fence. The same reason that we see stripes in the sky, the same reason we have 14 ingredients in a can of beans.
You okay?
Because we're divine beings. We're children of God. And what better way to put out our fire than literally put out our fire? Poison us. Not literally like poison, but I mean like kind of slowly, but surely.
Yeah, so I believe they're genetically modifying us on purpose. I think Kat mentioned that in the comments.
That's what I said. 80% of the stores not even. That's what I said. Like that's what I meant when I said that earlier. You know, it's wild.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, babe.
It's actually something that's been done on a lot of different planets and in a lot of different civilizations, and it's also connected to, draconian transhumanism, and I mean, when you really think about it, we're like these organic, imprinted beings, and how can you control something that's organic and sovereign? You can control it by making it artificial and synthetic, and then using artificial and synthetic frequencies on the outside to also interact with those artificial and synthetic frequencies on the inside while mutating the DNA and basically damaging the Sophia light body.
Yeah, and this is all, if you want to get deep into this topic, from what I've read and discovered, this is draconian technology in the food. And it is also dark. It's a dark Pleiadian and draconian technology, because the dark Pleiadians are the ones who help seal the deal with the draconians ruling us for thousands of years, And so those are the ones that basically was the doom of Atlantis. Same people. Anyway,
I'm telling you.
I don't mean to get all doom and gloom on it. Just saying.
Let's all move. Let's all move to nature.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's put
I
a big,
agree.
huge net up in the sky so we can catch the planes that go by. Ah, we got you. Try spraying that crap now, buddy.
That'd be so funny.
Yeah. There she is.
I'm back.
Rain Queen's back.
Hey.
So we were talking
Yeah, I
about
heard
getting
you about the nets.
to hold these planes that are spraying our skies. Like traps.
Yeah. I've been seeing them a lot. The other day they had us 10 in the sky at once. It was crazy from every direction. I was just like, oh wow.
Me too.
I love that
Yeah,
for us.
Mhm.
You can get mommy's.
So did we have some comments, you said? I can't see the comments.
Are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's going on?
Okay. Hi.
Is
I think I'm
there
lagging
some
again.
comments, Marcus?
Is there comments,
So-
you said?
Consciousness and neurodivergence. Yeah. Well, you know, I have been talking recently with somebody about getting a program together, and it's already kind of in the works, to be honest with you. An alternative healing program for people who with neurodivergency. So I'm into quantum healing. Chatting soul healing and wellness is quantum healing, Reiki, herbal knowledge, things like that. Hi. And I am talking with a really amazing lady who's interested in developing some type of a quantum hypnosis session for people who have autism, level 2, level 3, nonverbal, even level 1, or even, any type of level. But, especially for those who aren't able to speak for themselves, we are hoping to bring some light and some open up those channels, so that's all I can really say about it right now, but it's going to be really interesting, I think, once we develop it. It's her idea, but
I agree.
I've had the idea myself, and either way, I'm excited for it to come to fruition, because she's right. Allie, you're right. These children do have a higher vibrational message to share with us. And so this is very important.
Yeah, it is.
Hi, babes. Is he sleeping in Mama's lap? Oh. Does anybody have any comments? Yeah.
Oh, in the comments, we just have Kat talking about how she notices that the chemtrails have increased as well. And yeah, that's all at the moment.
No, it's true. For a while there, they had stopped, and then, like the past month, they've been back. In this state, anyway. I think, honestly, ever since that thing went through the news, I don't listen to the news, but there was something on it about there was a state that banned geoengineering or something like that, wasn't there? And I feel like ever since that moment, it's been like gangbusters. I don't know. So They could just be doing it on a spite, you know. I won't put it past
I
them.
wouldn't be surprised.
You know.
Yeah. I know Florida, I know they have been really moving forward with some bills out there and banning geoengineering and things like that.
Well, to expand further on this topic of neurodivergency and consciousness, like, I guess we could go into whether it be neurodivergency or other things, you know, like seeing the commonalities we all have as human beings and not the differences, because the new earth is not built with disdain and separation. What was unity and team and we mentality? It's not me, it's we, right? And so that being said, it's important that we all understand that everyone's here to give a message, no matter what label they have, you know? I mean, even if someone is, say, schizophrenic or level 3 autism, where people feel that they are incapable of making decisions and thinking properly, that's probably 100% farthest from the truth. It's just that I hate to be disrespectful, I'm not trying to be, but programming tells us to think otherwise. You know?
Right.
So I think it's really important to bring up the fact that this is most importantly a time to change our inner perspectives as best as we can on all of this. On, you know, I keep putting up on all these posts everywhere. Oh, there's people bickering and clamoring. And I'm just like, you know what? How about this? How about everyone just knock it off and just love each other no matter what? Why do we have to, oh, I vote blue, I vote red. Well, I sit on this mat and pray. Well, I don't sit on that mat and pray. Let's just pretend that tomorrow a freaking UFO lands on the White House lawn. Are we going to go running up to it going, I'm White Sarah Broadhead from Arizona and I voted independent. And you know what? I don't like electric cars. And then other guys are going to rap and go, oh, I'm Jim Bob from Arkansas. I'm a black man and I vote Democrat. And no. We're going to go, whoa, we're humans. Who are you? Right? We're one family, friends. One family. So neurodivergent or not, we're all consciousness. Straight up. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like we very easily get caught on labels. And
yeah, as human beings.
then get caught on the label to then be so definitive and finite. And it's just like, this is a slight different functioning than the way that you're functioning. And that's just basically it, you know? Well, it's just a different functioning that makes you authentic in your own way.
And it's low-key your ego. Having a desire to categorize people and label them, you, us versus them. That's an ego thing. Which is necessary in some places, right? But
yeah, for me, it's like there comes a point where it's like you're defining, labeling, limiting, or you're just kind of describing something so it could be described. And that's like a different type of way.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, describing and like judgmentally labeling are way different. Right, for sure. You 100% agree. But I don't know, sometimes people are so quick to be like, but they don't, you know what I'm saying? Even like that one song, Black Implies White, right? So like defining yourself as all these things does cause some level of division, even if it is true. Because we're all separate pieces of the same consciousness. Again, the word consciousness.
Polarity.
Yeah. But I mean, and for this 3D vibration, this realm, that is the best way to describe the event is division. Like I'm you, you're me, we're all pieces, right? But as we go higher in our vibrations, that goes away and we become unity. Like I said, New Earth is not built on division, it's built on unity. Right?
Oh man. So there's something I read in the Kabbalion. You guys are familiar with the Kabbalion?
Yeah.
So there's something I read in it. It's in the beginning. And I noted it too. It's like one of my favorite things. It talks about how you either identify with your experiences or you identify as being the observer of the experiences.
Well, and you could even
that right there.
Right.
It definitely correlates. What were you saying? Well,
I was just going to say that you can actually look at yourself as the victim, as in the situation, or as the observer. It depends on your stage of development that you're in. There was a time when I thought I was a victim to everything. Right? And I probably was, but I'm not now. Anyway.
It's not happening to you, it's happening because of you. Life isn't happening to you.
Yeah.
Or for you, yeah.
What did the most horrible years of my life teach me? How beautiful it can be. How to love myself. How to give a shit about myself. So I wasn't a victim at all, actually. It was just, I'm a really hard learner. You know, I celebrate 10 years in less than 2 weeks of recovery. And that sobriety of recovery, of the thought process has changed. It's no longer happening to me, it's happening for me. And what do I see out of it? Which is consciousness, a change in consciousness. And you never know, I might be a little bit neurodivergent. Depends who you ask.
Aren't we all?
Yeah.
I mean,
but the great part of it happening because of you and happening, I'm sorry. The great thing about it happening for you and because of you is that you get to create it all. You know, you get to create your experience based on the rest of your life you decide to choose, right? So from this day forward, I decide to be this person. And then your whole reality is going to morph into that, right? So yeah, it's just beautiful, you know.
Right. Either you're in or you're out. Either you are or you're not. What's that word? Should I get off the pot? Excuse my French.
It's always continuously changing.
That's the only constant, is change.
Well, it does seem like toxins are pretty constant. No, I'm kidding. It's just...
Those will not be constant. Those are coming to an abrupt end. I'm speaking this into existence. They're coming to an abrupt ending. Which makes me think of, you know, the only constant is change. It makes me think of the planets and astrology. And, you know, like how the planets play into consciousness. And can y'all hear me? I keep losing you guys. Yeah, so that could be an interesting topic for us to dive into in the future, is what part do planets play in our consciousness?
I have a conspiracy on that. Can I share it? Ooh, okay. What about the 13th sign, Ophiuchus? What about the fact that we should have 13 months instead of 12? So where does that put everything? What year is it really? Question. Right? That's pretty deep. That is a deep rabbit hole, actually. There are several different calendars that record time, and this Gregorian calendar that records our time isn't necessarily true. So, as long as we all just play along, it's this day, right? We're just going to play along that it's November 30th, is it? 2025? Yeah.
Somewhere in time space of this earth dimensional realm of the third dimension, physical,
Right?
vibrational, material realm.
Mm-hmm. Did you find me on the exact right frequency?
13 months. Rhonda screams.
Yeah, no, it's true. Seriously, Rhonda, you've heard about this, right? And I think that the month was in between June and July, wasn't it? And it's like, I think that it's 13 months and each month has 30 days or something like that with one extra day. I think that's how it goes, right?
I thought it was 28 days.
Is it 28? I'll have to, my phone's on Do Not Disturb. Otherwise, I would look it up right now. You know.
But,
okay.
The cool thing is that we are so much the creator that we get to just, at our own free will, make up and choose different types of timelines to experience. And then switch into a different one. And then switch into a different belief. Then switch into another belief.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, Marcus, because that's actually a really good topic in my opinion. Like, I have explained several different times, like the splitting of the timelines right now, okay? Like, they're all still culminated together at this moment. But maybe that's a good one for our next episode, talking about this whole timeline thing.
Oh.
Because, yeah, because it's like, okay, so how does that look exactly? It's almost like, in my opinion, right? This is my opinion. But I feel it's going to be like a person of a different vibration than you, like, is always negative and always pessimistic, versus you trying to be on your happiest, most optimistic timeline. Let's just use those two scenarios. And you guys used to be really good friends, but you've started to make the processes of changing and doing the right things and doing things for your life that they're not doing, which is no judgment whatsoever, but it's just a variation, okay? And so these variations happen, and eventually, you've had it happen before, right? Where you just all of a sudden lose touch with somebody that you used to talk to every day. And that's because you're vibrationally not a match anymore. And so I believe that's what's going to be happening when we go into the future in the next, say, 10 years, right? I'm not sure what you guys believe, but this could be a really cool next topic for one of our episodes. Timelines, you know?
The timelines. Project Looking Glass.
Yeah, there you go.
What's that?
And there's another one that goes with Looking Glass. It's on the tip of my tongue and I can't think of it. I'll think of it when we get off the show. I'm like, oh yeah. Speaking of, it's probably about time to sign off. How we're almost at our 45 minutes. Where's Miss Allie?
Oh, are you ready, Sarah? Are you ready to close out already?
I mean, we're on 44 minutes there. It is getting late over there, huh? I'm in Arizona, so it's only 9 o'clock right now.
Hey, it's up to you. We can keep it rolling. Or we can
it's almost 11 o'clock, right? Your time?
Whatever you feel.
It is Saturday night, man. Where are you going to find a more intellectual conversation than this? No, I'm just kidding.
we got 4 in the house, and
nice.
They're enjoying the flow.
Yeah. Hey, anybody want to come up and chat?
Yeah, if there's anybody in the comments that would like to join, just let me know. I'll drop the link for you. We're really free flowing tonight, you know, and something I wanted to talk about too with this whole neurodivergency thing is, um, trying so much to not label and judge based off of the physical vessel. Remembering that, especially if we embody our teachings and we know our esoterics and we understand that we are more than the physical body, then that means that also equates for the beings that are experiencing through those what we call neurodivergent vessels. So that means we got to also remember too that we don't want to keep on regurgitating to them that they need to identify with only their physical makeup as who they are and their limitations. And that just kind of came through me just a moment ago while chilling here. And I just thought about that because the more we just kind of treat people certain ways, or just treat kids certain ways, like they're kind of incapable or not worthy of being spoken to in ways like a mature person. And I feel like it hinders, it kind of hinders the growth of our society.
It's disrespectful. I'll say it.
Because
what's the difference between you walking up and saying something like that and saying to someone, God, look at your haircut? God, there's no difference. It's disrespectful. You know what I mean? The way people talk to some people. I was going to say, in addition to what you were just saying, people like Albert Einstein, for example, were geniuses, but couldn't tie their shoes. What does that say? That he very well had a high potential. He could have been neurodivergent. He probably got all kinds of scuff in his life, Yep. So just because someone doesn't look like us doesn't give us the right to put any judgment on them or talk down to them at all. Unless you like developing karma, which might be your thing. Hey, that's cool. Time and a place for it all, I guess. But
the material realm is also the least important realm.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I forget who this song is by. I know you can tell me, Marcus. Love each other and tell the truth. It's in Artifacts of a Higher Dimension.
I like that name.
That's the music. You know what I'm talking about? What's the song? And there's a guy in there, and he's like, all I know is that souls love each other and tell the truth. And that's it.
That's right. That's right, Sarah.
If you're gonna tell the truth, be nice about it. That goes with the love each other part.
Good stuff to talk about, because we identify very easily with the physical whenever we see things, and just the reminders, that we gotta help each other not identify with the physical so much as well.
And we judge ourselves a lot. You're right.
Absolutely.
Think about I can just want to use myself for an example. Hi.
Hey.
So I could just use myself for an example. I used to talk to myself horribly. Horribly.
I still do.
I mean, I do from time to time. I'm not going to lie. Okay, but I do my very best to keep mindful of it all times. But there is times where I allow myself to have a negative emotion and allow myself to express myself through the emotion. Yeah, absolutely. I'm still human, right? But think about that for a minute. Think about how people talk about themselves. I mean, if they can't love each other, how can they love somebody else? So if they
But you
can't
said
talk
talk
nice
to
about,
yourself.
well, if they can't talk nice about themselves, they're not going to talk nice about anybody else.
Because I talk to myself all the time. I walk around the house. Okay, I need to take out the trash. Okay, why didn't I take out the trash? I need to do this, and I'll just like say this out loud and just like go
Yeah,
through
me
my
too.
whole itinerary for the day as I'm going through my day. That's what I thought you said. I thought you said talk to yourself. But
Oh,
the
I
problem
do. Yeah,
arises
yeah. No.
is when you start answering, right?
Oh, no, you can answer.
I
I
answered.
feel like we all have to talk to ourselves, man. We got to.
Yeah, it's a good conversation.
Yeah, I mean, I'm my favorite person to speak to,
Yeah.
We get along great.
I'm always right here. It's awesome. I'm always there for myself.
Yeah, how is that like that?
Right here. Oh, hi. How's it going? Oh, good. Fine.
Yeah. That's how you train
No,
yourself.
we just have to laugh and have fun with ourselves, right? Can't be so serious all the
Yeah.
time.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you start talking to your higher self and your subconscious mind, and y'all get to laughing at people.
And there's
just
people
laughing
that
at
won't
things,
admit that they even do that, Ellie. Everyone does that. Just public service announcement. Everyone has that same voice inside their head. You're not crazy. We all have it.
Welcome to 2025.
Yes. I want to say.
If you have your seatbelt on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I suppose 2027 is probably going to be a lot more intense, but.
Oh boy.
I don't know.
Well, next year's a 1, and we're riding the horse.
And 1, new beginnings in leadership. My son is a 1. Interesting enough, he fits in the topic of this discussion tonight very well.
Yes, indeed. And 2027 is an 11 year, and the year of the goat.
I'm an 11.
The goat.
Goats. My mom's a goat.
The goat.
Yeah, Sarah.
Yes.
How's your journey of regulation and balance been with your son?
Well, would you like the short version, Jim? I'm just kidding. No, it's, my son has been the best gift I didn't know I ever wanted until I had it, right? And he has taught me so many things. And one thing I've learned through his journey is that this too shall pass, and everything's in layers. If you have a child or a family member who has a label, like a soup can, or is neurodivergent or whatever, just first of all, have compassion and don't give up hope. And there really is answers. I have done so many different things for my child over the past 10 years for his health and significantly changing his labels and diagnoses. All I can really say to that without having a full-on discussion about it is that detoxification really does work. And you want to look at minerals. Minerals get rid of metals, and metals built up in accumulation in the body is what causes a lot of these stimming behaviors, like tiptoe walking, like hand flapping, things like that. So I really, like I said, there's many layers. It's a long answer. He's been through many different layers of this, and he's been a trooper throughout it all. We've went from layers that look like defiance to ADHD to lack of concentration to running around like a bumblebee to full-blown stem walking and hand flapping and toe walking all day, every day. You're no longer doing that to anxiety and depression, to ADHD, back to executive function disorders. So that's why I say there's so many different layers. But one thing I can say for certain is that detoxification does work, and so does love and compassion. I've done so many different alternative things for my child that have successfully worked. You know, if you feel like you want to learn more about those types of topics, please feel free to message me or, you know, get a hold of me, because I can give you a lot of support and advice if you're interested to learn more. Like, matter of fact, I have taken my child out of the public school system legally and given him the education he needs and deserves, and he's thriving. So I've done a lot of things that are very scary, and I've came out on the other side successful. And if there's one thing that I can say is just don't give up. Don't just accept it. You know, oh, this is the way it is. No, it's not. Trust me. Anyway, yes. That's a long answer to your question, I know.
Oh no, I was ready for a lot more, because I know there's
a lot more.
You got a lot of good wisdom, that's for sure.
I have a lot of knowledge on this topic, like a vast plethora of knowledge on this topic, like 10 years worth of knowledge, 10 years worth of deep diving. That's a lot. And in case you're wondering, I can tell you the exact way to detoxify your child naturally. Yes.
That's very beneficial.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway. You think Allie's gonna come back? Is she still with the babes? Still rocking the baby to sleep?
She joined us and then hopped out again.
Yeah, she's probably falling asleep with the baby. I know how that goes.
But yeah, I feel like, you know, the thing is just like, I feel like everybody has balance. And what I mean by that is they have a balanced blueprint of what like is balanced for them and their individualness. And it's no coincidence that, you know, there's a lot of things in this world and a lot of things have been placed in the system that either, you know, damage or block or create really unbalanced neurological systems.
Yeah. You know, I think you bring up a very valid point. I personally feel that, and a lot of people who are neurodivergent, I also feel in every way, shape, and form, I also feel that there is an underlying condition where the chakras, the energy points of the body, are either overbalanced, underbalanced, blocked. You know, they're not working in proper order. And I know that doesn't, some people are like, what? But it's just basically that if, like, let's just pretend it's a battery. And if it's not fully charged, or if the ports, what are those things called on a battery? The little pegs or whatever. If those aren't working properly, then you're going to get a, you know, not a steady stream of energy. And that could look like neurodivergency in our 3D reality.
And what that could do is it could kind of like then cause another energy center to kind of have maybe a little bit more than that one.
Right. Over,
it'd be like maybe they could be a little bit more in their crown and then less in their sacral or root.
Or
And
solar plexus area.
Yeah.
Making them look like they are flighty and like over, what's the word, overstimulated? Like, let's say the earth or the crown or the soul star, or right? What if those are off or blocked? That would give people a misconception of their life's purpose, for example, right? So I do believe that has something to do with it too,
But do we have a purpose, or do we create the purpose,
Well, I fully believe we completely plan our lives on the other side of the veil before we're born. And we already know which path we're going to choose, but this part of us doesn't. The avatar doesn't know, but our higher self knows every single thing that's going to happen. And then the adventure is learning it, going through it, That is the learning process. So yes, we do know, but we don't know.
Yeah, it depends on what version of self you're talking about, the human self or the soul self.
Yeah,
Yeah, but that's when free will steps in. It's like, you just follow along free will until you're like, oh, okay, well, this is what I feel called to. I guess this is what I chose, right? Then you go down that path of what you chose before you came.
Well, I mean, so I have 2 college degrees I've never used. And so I've chose a few times choices I didn't want to continue going down the path of. So, but now that I feel like I'm more aligned to my true self, things have changed, so.
Gotta do what makes you happy. Do it for you, not for anybody else, right?
Yeah.
I like the music. I got on my phone. The computer it wasn't having it tonight, right?
You sound good.
I have everybody asleep now and happy.
Nice.
Yeah, I see the comment. There is a different version of you that lives in everyone else's reality or dimension. I know that was like 19 minutes ago you said that, but that is so true.
That's true.
Sometimes we see the better version, like somebody's potential, rather than where they are currently.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I feel so bad that I missed most of the chat.
And that'll go back to the Truman Show, getting each detail perfectly correct so that perception of you is the same as you wish it to be.
Other people's opinion of me is none of my business.
That's for sure.
I don't care. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's been one of my life challenges, one of my lessons, is learning how not to care what other people think.
Maybe that's my version of neurodivergence. It's just, okay. You think I'm dumb? Okay. Whatever else.
Well, Miss Allie, I know that we originally said like 30 to 45 minutes, and we're at an hour and 3 minutes, and I don't want to get us off here, but I just figured I'd bring it up. And then I do want to read something real quick, but before we did finish, and I don't know when that'll be, but
whenever you guys are ready.
Well, I really had a great time talking about all this stuff, and I would love to share more information at a later date. I love doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I would love to dive into the planetary consciousness as well. I feel like that's been pulling on today. Yeah, I feel like that'll be a fun next topic or topic after.
Definitely.
And the collective consciousness would be great too.
Because time was constructed around planets, right? So what consciousness holds up the planets?
Well,
we can dive into that.
And then your consciousness and how it's affected by others' consciousness and the overall consciousness as well.
That could be an episode too. Yeah, we have a lot.
Oh yes, we can talk for days. Get the coffee.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah, for the time before I got lost into cyberspace, I had a great time chatting with you guys. I'm sorry I missed the back half of the conversation, but I'm glad y'all were still here when I got back, though.
No,
Yeah,
hey, you can always watch the replay.
Yeah, I will. I will. Yeah,
and share it with a friend if you like it, and even like and subscribe.
Right, when I was zooming through cyberspace, y'all were coming in and out, and it would sound like aliens, and I thought we were being abducted.
Kat said, I love to hear more of the herbs that help with neurodivergent.
Absolutely. I could give you a quick 30-second thing. Okay, so the number one, well, there's not number one. I guess there's several. A very traditional recipe that's used standardly for this situation would be rosemary, saffron, and holy basil. I could go into or DM you even or make another podcast about this. Like I had mentioned earlier, saffron is a really heavy hitter for many different, labels, diagnoses, As far as anxiety goes, you'd probably want to use a combination of lemon balm and passion flower. As far as like natural sleep, you probably want to use something like a valerian root, and maybe even a California poppy, which is not an actual opiate, but it does have the same effect as one. That would be really great for like a depression. Okay, so depression, St. John's wort would be really great. 5-HTP, L-theanine. Really, though, a lot of this, like we were saying in the very beginning, starts with the gut-brain connection. And that is one of the most basic things is to get the proper amino acids, because amino acids are the building blocks of atoms. Atoms there make our immune system, make our cells, make us. And so if you start with just giving yourself vitamins, for example, there's not always 100% chance your body's going to absorb those because you don't have the essentials down here to grab onto the nutrients. So you'd want amino acids and trace minerals, then vitamins. Anyway, so yeah, there's several different things that are very effective in the herbal world, only for sure. And if you're interested in this, just let us know in the comments, or we could make a podcast about this, or I could answer some questions you have if you want to DM me. Absolutely.
Yeah, get down with the herbs.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff.
So there was actually a point in my son's journey. Yeah, let me just add real quick. P.S. There was a point where my son was still in elementary school. And have you ever seen those they're like little vitamins or like energy shots? They're like a little bottle, and then you just open the lid and you drink it. Well, I used to buy those and then take the labels off and then put in this herbal mixture I made for him. And I've, put the like droppers full of herbs into an ounce of juice. So he can just drink it twice a day, like, right before lunch and then like an hour after lunch. That, along with the Noptopolite zeolite and the different things I did for his detoxification, I literally had teachers and counselors calling me what I had changed, what I had done. So I'm here to tell you, parents, if you have a neurodivergent child, you may have already put them on medications and you may not be happy with them, but you might feel that you're stuck. You're not stuck, I promise. I promise you're not stuck.
Call this helpline.
Yeah. What a hitter herbology. No, just kidding.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, it's just scary, like a little bit low key, to be honest. But don't worry. It's just because it's unknown, that's all.
But fear is usually the absence of knowledge, the absence of knowing.
False evidence appearing real, fear. Yep.
Ooh, I heard that in a while. False evidence appearing real.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
and then it freaking like gets like fluorescent flashers and it's like meow, 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 meow. I'm real. You need to invest in me. Oh yeah. You know. No, run away. All right.
Oh man.
So can I just plug in this little bitty advertisement for my friend right here? Is this a good spot?
Yes.
Drop it right here. Ding. Oh hi. Well, okay, everybody, if
Do
you're
your
out there,
thing.
I have a friend named Nicole Stanford, and I'm just going to read this off to you. She is a mom, an entrepreneur, a passionate follower of God whose chosen mission is simple: helping people live well and live free. As the leader of this company called It Works, Nicole empowers others through holistic approaches to wellness, supporting gut health, supporting natural energy, and elevating confidence from the inside out with products people love and trust. Driven by a heart for service and the belief that true wellness transforms lives, she shows up every day to guide others towards healthier habits, greater financial freedom, and a community that feels like family. Nicole is currently offering a special $25 enrollment, regularly $100, to help more people begin their wellness journeys, and also a business opportunity without any barriers. If this sounds interesting, you may want to contact Nicole. It Works sets a powerful goal to change 1 million lives. With over 600,000 already impacted and purchasing healthy, clean products for their bodies, Nicole is proud to be a part of the movement that's growing, giving, and grounding in person. If you're interested in like belly fat reduction, or if you have gut issues, or if you have skin troubles, or you want collagen in your life, or all these things that people are doing nowadays to better their bodies and health and wellness. If you're interested in anything like that, we're going to have a link in the description of this podcast, and it's called It Works. And my friend Nicole is the sponsor and salesperson there. And I think you'll really be impressed with the products that they carry. Me being an all natural person, as best as I can anyway in this world, I really do appreciate and respect a company like this. So again, if you're interested in different body products or beauty or wellness products, make sure to click that link in the description and check it out. I think you might be pretty surprised and very impressed.
Yeah. I think I got on her website before. I'm going to have to get back on there and get everything that's in my cart.
Yeah, and ladies, if you're interested in this type of thing and you have a lot of gal pals that are interested in this type of thing, you may want to get in with her for $25 and be a distributor yourself.
Ooh,
There's special deals, there's Black Friday deals, and there's also
That's the best.
starter up deals right now. Like, I think that company does offer a package with the GLP-1, but there's also alternatives that are more natural than that if you're not interested in something like that. So yeah, if that type of thing interests you, definitely check it out.
All right.
Thank you for sharing that, Sarah.
Thank you. Get a hold of Nicole. No, just kidding.
Yeah.
And I'll be down below in the description for all of you guys. After this episode is over here in a minute, we'll have that all updated down below in the description for you guys.
Yeah.
Check out the replay. This was a wonderful live tonight, and it was a really free flow. But yeah, you guys can check out the replay and just explore the topic of neurodivergency and consciousness. And I gotta say, I felt like we hit on a lot of really key points that people have probably either experienced or just really just had questions about in their life, especially having, people around them or even their own self that is going through such labels, identities, diagnoses out here in this earth world. So thank you guys for sharing the space.
Yeah, thanks for hosting the space and having it open for us. Thank you all for whoever joined and commented. I really enjoyed this conversation as well. And I look forward to more. Sorry, look, when it gets close to my bedtime, it's like I forget how to speak. I just turn straight into gibberish. I'm sorry. But yeah, I really enjoy this topic, all the topics of consciousness, and I look forward to talking about more of it in the future.
Indeed.
Indeed.
Yes, indeed.
So you guys can see us. You guys can see us next Thursday. Next Thursday during the final full moon of the year, we will be going live, and you guys can tune in then. And we'll be doing some full moon activities. So we'll see you guys then. Everybody have a good night.
All right.
Love.
All right. Good night.
Good night. Tune in next time, everybody.